Well, hello. It is Sarah Jane from Access Your True Nature, and it's a busy time. I know there's a lot of hype at the moment about the partial eclipse and Lionsgate energy. It's Women's Day here tomorrow in South Africa. And I want to really just deepen into how we can use this time as the moment, the present moment, to really return to trust, and how you can start to get unstuck, how you can really move towards a more aligned way of making choices, and to just trust that, again, you're being given, we're all being given this incredible opportunity to use all of this amazing, powerful energy right now. Hi. You know, it's all about this Leo and this Aquarian energy, which is all about, look at me, make it all about me, and the Aquarian energy that's just saying, you know, I don't want to give, you know, I want to just lead my legacy, and just give what I have to give because I care deeply about making a contribution. Hi, Mark. Hi, Ashley. So, you know, the stuckness that I see so many people struggling with at the moment is that, you know, yes, that's all very well and good, Sarah Jane, but, you know, how do I activate this beautiful energy that the Lionsgate portal is inviting us all into, which is really, how do we take the shadow and bring it into the light, to use your ego to work for you rather than against you, and just take this opportunity right now, again, to be this lion energy that lies down with the lamb. This is the Christ consciousness energy, where we're really being given this opportunity again and again and again to really speak to our souls. How do we speak to our purpose? Well, through our emotional body, through our spiritual body, and stop worrying about things that we can't change. You know, how do we serve in a bigger way? And, you know, the first thing that Leo's really good at is to make a list. Hi, John. Stop worrying about worrying. Look at what you're good at. Stop worrying about where the money is going to come from, and just sit down. Lie down your lion energy with this gentleness of the lamb, and use this beautiful Aquarian energy to get you out of your own way. Hi, Pippa. You know, this is the way forward, where we get to be everything that is right and good and meaningful, our right relationship with our lives, and how we're showing up in relationship with everything else. And just give it everything that you've got for yourself, got for the evolution of humanity that we're all connected into. And to, how do we create a better world? Not just a world that sustains, but a world that thrives. And how do we do that? Well, know that the world needs your gifts, and it's time. It's time to respond. So, you know, this is an opportunity to really talk to the soul and see, how can you return to trust? How can you use these powerful energies that are here in supporting you to move forward, and stop resisting, stop getting stuck in all the stuff that isn't real? It's just the stories, the illusion of the old ways that are no longer serving you. So, you know, and I love that you're all here. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Karen. Hi, Pippa. Post in the comment below. Let me know one thing that you're going to move toward. In first of all, just stop denying that you perhaps are feeling stuck, and learn to use this power of choice and really focus your energy and care about excuse me, where you're putting your attention. Hi, Mary. You know, I've learned over the last couple of weeks, where I've been really looking at, how can I deepen into my work, and how can I grow into trusting myself, in my purpose, in spirit, in my physical body. And seeing where I love it that you're focusing on love. You know, it's, yeah, trust that you're loving, trust that you are a trustworthy person, because the power continues to grow and amplify in trust, and to be supported in the external environment, your relationship with other people. Be happy with your goals. I love it. It's so distracting, but I love it. Keep going. Yeah, so what was I saying? I got a little distracted there. So yeah, how can I be better? How can I deepen into my ability to be a change agent in the world? Hi, Corleen. We have to really be grounded into the reality of how am I going to be more effective in the way that I'm showing up and using my gifts, and allowing yourself, giving yourself permission through love, through trust, of taking the actions to ground into trust, not the illusion of how you think things should be or how you think things are supposed to be showing up, but really in how you can align and attune yourself into right relationship, your original relationship with your authentic true self. Who know yourself, the one that trusts, your wise woman, knows what you're here to do. And the blueprint of your life never, ever changes. It just gets lost underneath all these stories that you've identified to and given power over you. So you can constantly go into this place of stuckness. And this is the gift that we're being offered right now. Love listening to you. Oh, Irene, I'm so happy to have you join these conversations. Hi, Neelam. You're all such amazing and empathic, sensitive people. And a lot of times I think it's the resistance to looking at how you can use your sensitivities to write that relationship with the world and use your tools rather than see it as a distraction, a way to avoid feeling into where am I out of alignment with trust. The energy of that for me right now has really been about looking at what is, not looking at what I think things need to be or what's going on outside of me. And I'd love you to just comment on the post. Hi, Tony. Below, what can you do to trust that you are living well? And how can you amplify into living a greater version of you that's in alignment and congruence with the one that knows that you came here to trust in yourself? For me, that's been my greatest lesson, and one that I constantly have to keep learning to grow into. What is the true issue of survival for you? And what is the bullshit story that keeps coming up from the fear of the wounded child? We've got to grow up. If anything, that's kind of the intensity of what I want to share with you. Hello, lovely. Is we have to grow up. We have to create the safety as a secure adult for the wounded child, for the child parts that are running your life. And you have to start looking at the work that you're doing. Is it in alignment? Is it attuned? Is it in support of you? Hi, Helena. Of your soul's purpose. And this is the Aini that I teach in the 5 elements, right? That everything has its place. Everything is feeding everything else. So are you feeding your fears from the child that's needs are not met? Or are you feeding your soul from the part that trusts that this has got to be greater than your fear? Let's be honest, and this is very much the Leo energy that's coming up right now for us to look at is, Leo's very much about, oh, look at me, I'm so amazing, see me, acknowledge me, and then it's going, no, don't look at me, I don't want you, it's too intense, it's too much feeling, and we have to feel in order to heal. So, it's just like I was having a giggle about this the other day with one of my clients, and he was really in a place of stuckness where he had got so into the story of that he needed this thing so badly in order to continue to do his work in the world, when actually all he needed was to trust that he had everything that he needs. He has the tools, he has the talents, he's continuing to grow. His life is pretty good right now. And yet he was letting this one thing that was so pivotal on how people were not seeing him, and the place that he was working at more important than him. So, it's just like, do we really need to have the 25 Rand coffee and the muffin at Woolworths or Starbucks or whatever that your body actually can't tolerate anyway? Are we going to constantly continue to indulge incessantly in the needs of the child that's driving the fear? Or are we going to actually start looking at where are we in denial of what we really require and desire right now to have a good life and to know that life is good? You know, as much as life is working for us, we are working for life. And that is this energy right now of really coming back to allowing yourself to have that peace of mind, to let the predator aspect of the lion lay down with the prey, lay down with the sheep, and bring all the shadow, bring all this denial up into the light. Because that's what the world needs right now. That's how we get to heal and create positive impact in the world, is to look at, we don't have to play by the rules and the regulations of the old stories. Okay, I'm a bit of a rule breaker anyway. Oh my goodness, I love the caps, Tony. And you've been so pivotal in getting this work out through the Live Out Loud Summit. So I so appreciate you being part of my world and playing in this place of the rule breaker, you know, the maverick energy that's saying, I'm not going to let this thing be bigger than me. I know that my soul is here to do this, and I'm going to see the obstacle as the way. That everything that is coming to us, especially in the physical body, without strong, healthy physical bodies, we do not get to fulfill our purpose and live into our legacy in the land. So, you know, as obvious as it might seem at this time, of the unseen energies that are really here to support us in returning to trust your body. Trust that your body knows what it knows, and listen to it and take the appropriate actions to feed your body the healthy live food, and bless the water and change your body chemistry. Because when you change that, amen, I love it, Elena, everything changes, right? We get to support the emotional, the mental, and the catharic and the etheric bodies. We get to live into our purpose, but we can't do that if we're in resistance to being physical, in physical form, in our humanness, in our human kindness, in our human beingness. You know, I love that quote that Gothi says, that as soon as you trust yourself, you'll know how to live. Well, what is it going to take for you to stop killing your life and actually live into the meaning of what moves you and what you really care about? And stop indulging in the incessant neediness of your 3-year-old that's driving you from this place of the fear of, I didn't get my needs met, the wounded child. And I'm not saying that it isn't true. Many of us that are in this community, myself included, I have to step up. I have to take responsibility as the adult to grow up and learn and constantly keep leaning into the aspects of resistance that are keeping me stuck. So ask what needs to die. You know, this is such a perfect time. Again, like I always say, every moment is a perfect time, right? To really deepen into looking at the parts that you're afraid of and holding them compassionately, but also being the strong medicine to say, what needs to die? What needs to die right now in my thoughts, my attitudes, my beliefs, my considerations, my projections, and my rejections of myself, right? Because it's in us rejecting that we're trustworthy, that we get to have the universe show it in our face that the world is not a trustworthy place to be, that we can't be in support of our communities, that we can't be supported by our communities, that we have to fiercely defend and protect our independence, which keeps us more alone, more stuck, more broken, more diseased, more in pain, more in suffering, rather than doing this dance with what it means to show up in trust and honoring of yourself for the part of you that doesn't believe that you're trustworthy, and stop leaving your body, for one. You know, as simple as it sounds, we're the one that keeps abandoning ourselves. We're the one that keeps leaving ourselves, because there's a part of us, an aspect of the child that never got to be nurtured, that's still stuck in the trauma. And I always say, the trauma is never in the big things, it's in the events. We're all traumatized. We're traumatized when we're born into this world. We're traumatized when we're weaned off our mother's breasts. We're traumatized when we go off to school and leave the safety of the nest. And as mammals, we need to return to trust, return to trusting that we have eyes on us, that we have community that supports us, and also that we are here in support of the community. This is where horses, for me, are the greatest teachers. Dogs show us how to be loyal. Dogs show us how to love. You know, it's in their name. In Hebrew, dogs are gods in little bodies, telling us to return, to play, to the energetic vibration that is the dance. Horses are saying, I need to know that I can lead myself and also be the safety for others to come with me, to find grass, to find shelter. I can't believe that I take some of us. Yeah, I think we get it when we get it, Tony. And I think that's where the kindness and the compassion of living out loud and letting the plates fall and letting everything unravel and know that we're not alone, that there is no shame in the falling down. There is no shame in asking for help, is the only way back to trust and love and compassion and kindness for a kinder world, because we all want part of that. And if we're in, if you're finding yourself in a place, and I've found myself here many times over the last couple of days and weeks, when my voice, my external projection on my voice turned me inward, of looking at the parts of me that were being my own drug dealer for what was feeding my fear in my own mind, and being able to receive that rather than deny it and refuse it and resist the intensity of, oh my gosh, how can I tune in and listen to this addiction of all this mind chatter in my head, right? That even though I couldn't speak out with, the voices in my head never stopped speaking, never stopped pulling me back into, what am I here to do? How can I show up in a bigger way? And just know that if you can't put down some of that incessant stuckness that's keeping you hooked into the old stories, it's an addiction. And we have to look at what happens when we do. What happens when we actually acknowledge that we're stuck in some aspect of not showing up. Because we need to have courage, and we need to stop blaming ourselves, and we need to step into our shadow work and trust that when we drive our living legacy from the love, from the compassion, hi Rahana, from the places that are afraid, when we choose to take accountability for the choices that we're making, and I mean the little choices as well as the big choices. It's like I choose to drive my car as a way to drive my purpose, to get out there and visit animals that are afraid, that are in some kind of trauma, to go out and speak about returning to trust and how we can resolve childhood traumas. And I'm going to make sure that in my trusting that I choose to drive a car, that I don't get stuck in this place of guilt and blame and shame and regret, that I'm responsible in some way for the dirty the fuels that are put in our cars, that I'm going to choose the most energy efficient, smallest carbon footprint car that I can drive, and take full responsibility for that, and stop blaming and treating money and cars and guns and all these other things as evil. I have to choose whether I'm going to use it or lose it. And this is where everything starts to change for us, when we actually start to make the choices from what we can do rather than what we can't, and going there. That's how we transform, through trust, through love. When we stop worrying about the things that we can't change. That's the ultimate warriorship. And this is the strength of the survival of humanity, is this beautiful, loving tribe of women that gathers here to explore things like this. So I'd love to know in the comments below, give me some love, give me some hearts. Tell me if this is aligning with you. I don't know how long I've been talking for right now. But, I really just wanted to say, stop making anything more significant than you. How can you use the energies of the unseen world, of your team, of your guides, of the animals, of the medicine that resides within you, to move you back into attunement, back into alignment with your soul's calling? That's what warriorship is. It's choosing to do the best that you can do with everything. Okay, I lost the connection for a minute there. So yeah, you know, look at guilt and shame and the blame and the expectations as the driving force to bring all the shadow into the light. Feel into your emotions. Feel how you know where you have been abiding by old rules that are keeping you stuck in the identification of the story. Let the old stories die, because you cannot afford to be distracted by the old stories. When you are aligned with what you came here to do, nothing will get in your way. That is where you are an unstoppable force, and you have to remember how to trust that voice. You know, so write your story and look at all the assets, right? We're all assets for each other. I'm sorry, it keeps cutting out. Yeah, well, hopefully the replay will be better, Tony, but I'm so happy to see you here. And yes, Rahana, you know, what is one thing you can do today to really sit in the parts of you that you've been resisting, that are going to be the catalyst for the change that you're here to create? That is your living legacy. Use your resources. We are all resources for each other. And together we can go so much further than we can apart. Yeah, we've got to come back to knowing we're not separate. We're all interwoven and interconnected into something that's greater than us. This is the Aquarian energy, where we get to see the Leo energy and be full of yourself. Because if you're not full of yourself, who are you full of? So, you know, all the places where you've made yourself wrong, where you've gone into this old programming of that it's not okay to be selfish, that it's not okay to ask for your needs to be met, is meet your needs where you are right now. Look at the fear and hold yourself like you would a beautiful baby that can't feed itself, that can't take care of itself yet, and take care of those parts. That's how you get to change the world. And this is this opportunity that we're all being gifted again to reclaim trust and let go of everything else that is not the whole truth of who you are. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the hearts. You know, it comes back down to right relationship with you, to the real reason why you're here. And you can't do that when you're being distracted, when you're feeling stuck. Frustration is just anger turned inward, because you know that you are out of congruence with what matters to you, what you care about, and getting your message out into the world. So allow yourself the time to just push pause, to do the work that you need to do, to feed your body, to come alive from this place of grieving for what you don't want. Grieve for the many things that you've lost. Grieve for the parts of you that are feeling lost, for the parts of you that are feeling stuck, and then move on. Lay down your lion with the lamb. I know it's a very ancient biblical way to look at it, but this is the ancient wisdom that's always been available to us. And we have cut ourselves off in this modern world of problem solving, which in its own self is a form of spiritual bypassing. All right, come back down to your heart. Trust with the integrity that you are to do the right thing, to live courageous from an open heart. Feel everything. Stop avoiding feeling. The only way through, the only way to awaken is to keep awakening, to keep moving toward that. Thank you, Tony. You know, tap into your heart. Go to what you're passionate about. That's all that matters. All that matters is the quality of how you're living right now. Grow up your child parts, and your life will meet you there. The universe will support you in that. Choose to be here now, because you, as I am the ancestor for the future generations. There's wisdom in that, and there's such a generosity in that to love your life fully. And if you're going to do that, you need to understand. You need to trust that you are love. It's a pleasure, Colleen. You know, allow whatever needs to come through you right now, and deepen into the trust of why you're living. You're living through challenges. You're living through stuckness. You're living through all of this with your body as your canary in the coal mine. Listen to your body. Support your body. And then go and do the work. Because trust is the only way, I believe, through grief and loss and pain. It's a better life for all of us, for all living things. So use this beautiful partial eclipse, use the full moon, use the 888 amplification of this Lionsgate return. Tony's summit starts today, specifically because she knows the power of trusting this energy of the Christ consciousness, of the awakening. And when you think you're going back to sleep, awaken again. That is what the work is about. So tune into Tony's summit. Live out loud. Let the plates fall. Let your heart break open into a tiny million pieces. And remember, people don't break your heart. You don't break your heart. You break your own expectations. People are the gift to show you. And the Hadidars are agreeing with me. Use it as an opportunity to trust and love that you're in right relationship with your soul, with God, with others, with the earth, and you will be shown how. The how will come when you pay attention to your body and your mind and you take physical care of yourself. So start there. Start with that so that you can do the work of your soul. Commit to yourself and commit to the work to grow and to constantly keep learning. This is what we're here to do. And the mastery is dying over and over and over again. Dying. Let the things that are no longer serving you die and fall away. Because your soul doesn't care about what's convenient. Your spirit, your soul, the body of the work, your purpose and your legacy only cares about alignment. It doesn't care what your ego thinks is inconvenient. That is what it means to live out loud, to be fully alive and fully human and completely awake, is to be continually thrown out of the nest, and to trust that you have wings, and the more you stretch your wings and the more you train and the more you exercise your right to honor your truth and to trust with integrity and with compassion and kindness and love. That's what it means to be fully alive. It's to always be wandering in no man's land and know that you're fully supported by God, by universe. Trust in that. Trust in the experience of every moment as completely new and fresh and beautiful and brutal, right? Brutiful. Hi, Tanya. Yes, then go out and do the work. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And we're all doing our work. So that's it. Live from a space of this lion and lamb energy, of the predator and the prey energy, of the shadow work, testing your wings. Well, trust I will fly. Yeah, and you've flown before. We've just forgotten. So returning to trust is remembering that you came here to do what you came here to do. Okay? And that requires a willingness and a commitment to die over and over again. Death is not something to fear. Life is not something to fear. It's the dance. So do the dance. Happy Women's Day. I honor all you beautiful women. I honor the work that you're doing. I honor who you be in my life and what you mean to me. And just know I appreciate you. And I'd love some comments and feedbacks back on our conversation today and how we can support each other in this beautiful time of change where we literally are creating a legacy that is going to be the difference between the survival of our humanity and the death and destruction of the planet. So how can we create a new world that is as ancient as trust itself, to just show up and trust yourself? All right, lots of love. Bye. Mwah.